welcome in today. Today you're joined by me, Daniel, and I am going to be talking to you about a topic here today, developing your online presence as a creator. Now, this is something more important these days since, it's a big online world, filled with lots of artists out there who have a presence. Back in the day, it was much harder to do that. You had to kind of know people and that kind of thing. So online presence wasn't kind of an existing thing at the time. So yeah, talking about this topic, and it's a kind of a close-ish topic to talk about for me because at the moment I'm slowly developing how I am using social media at the moment. The things that I use like YouTube, how I'm developing YouTube, how I am developing my Instagram, as well as some other platforms that I've used in the past. And I've used a wide variety of social media, like vlogging sites. You would name it, and I've probably used it almost. Not everything I've used, but I basically dabbled in a lot of different social medias, and vlogging websites and that kind of thing. But yeah, um, online presence, we all, it is good. It's important to grow and, find a career path. There's many ways of going about it. It's there. It is also a double-edged sword. It's got its good side and its bad side, and that kind of thing. Um, I think back probably 3 or 4 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, I was doing this little kind of website called Naomi. Dot, I think it was like Naomi.com. It got taken down after about, I think I used it for about a year, where I would just basically create these vlogs, just pretty much talking about my art and art life, and then I would slowly, get some revenue from it. Um, you get revenue based on how many views you get, similar to something like YouTube or other websites that do it. Um, However, these days, um, some websites require a lot more. Say with YouTube, they require you to have verification. Now they're requiring you to have two-step verification before you can keep running a YouTube channel. As of tomorrow, pretty much, or well, no, 2 days away. Which I have. It's real easy to set up. It's not that hard. And it has some other ways. Other websites have certain requirements, like you have to, like Twitch had, where you have to have at least a certain amount of viewers, and that before you can get into their program. So it was during that time where there were quite a few of these websites, and the same with like survey websites as well. They were cracking down that more. I think the kind of website must have gone bust because it was paying. I think it was paying too much people. I mean, that's only assumptions. I don't know fully why. Um, but yeah, I did get $10 from that. From in the end, I think it was 10, or it might have been a little bit more. But I did that, and that was cool. In the end, to receive that, I can't remember how much it fully was, but it's a little bit of money there. Um, but it was kind of an option, if I had uh, gotten more views from it. I guess I could have made it a somewhat of a full time income, I guess. Um, possibly. Probably not, because it got shut down in the end. But it would have been really helpful. But I got what I get out of it. And that's social media. It's a hit and miss. Um, you don't, it's obviously YouTube's not going anywhere as far as I know. But it's developing, it's changing. There's new rules, there's new requirements. I don't think Instagram will go anywhere. It did get like shut down or something for a whole day, along with Facebook. But they're there, and yeah, they're a double-edged sword. Good for helping you grow, because you can share your work with whoever's out there, see other people's work, and comment on them, and share with other artists. Um, and grow together. You can do challenges together. You can do Inktober as the latest one, Halloween themed, challenges. Yeah, anything above. I've talked about a lot of this. So I want to go on to my next point. It's not all that. Artists can get on okay without it. They can even thrive without having social media at all. Um, yeah, some artists do way better with social media, either completely not having any social media, or online presence, or any other online presence, um, or it might be limited time. um, I've heard a lot of podcasts and videos and things about artists talking about they have like certain times they would do their social media. They would turn off all social media for an hour a day, or any online presence they have. um, some artists do really well, just turning everything off, all on their online presence, um, and yeah, just do what they do best, just create art. And it works well for them. Some physically do it rather than have an online presence. They have to physically. It's less likely these days with the whole pandemic. We're all been kind of locked up, and have to stay at home and everything like that. So it makes it um, a little bit more interesting. That's why having a good online presence um, is a little bit more important these days. Probably going back, it was starting to get highly recommended in the last like decade. Um, you know, Having that presence that gets you noticed, uh, and helps others find you. That's why you gotta take care of it. If you do something bad, if you post a bad tweet, if you um, you know, you're doing, say, YouTube, you make a bad video, people are gonna notice that, if you're gonna post a bad image online that might offend someone, or if you know, just create kind of badish art that, um, you know, it doesn't look good on your portfolio, or um, your Instagram, it's gonna reflect. Um, However, there's safe places for that to post and share. You're not so shabby work, you're not so great work. Um, and also, there's always room for improvement. If you're posting and you're sharing your art, and it's looking all right, I look at that 3-4 years later, um, and some from even more. I look at some of my art from ages ago that I posted. I'm like, really, it's that bad, um, but you improve, and that's why it's there to develop. Um, but I mean, it's there. There's nothing wrong with posting that kind of thing, the stuff, your old works and everything like that. But yeah, you don't want to ruin your reputation per se. So, um, like for instance, maybe you kind of want to do 3D art, but you end up posting like maybe 2D art or you know that kind of thing. You'll get known for doing 2D art, but it's not what you enjoy. It's not kind of thing you want to get associated with. Then it's not really worth posting. But we improve, we develop these things. It comes with mistakes. You're gonna go through um, what to put in your portfolio, and you put the wrong pieces in your portfolio. That only comes from experience and asking others and things like that. Yeah, that goes on to my next thing, portfolios, and Instagram, YouTube, or whatever social medias um, you have, and always developing them. If you have something that is working, that is absolutely fine. If you have an Instagram that is always growing, it's always getting new followers and attraction, you have a YouTube that's doing the same, or you have um, a portfolio that's always keeping you getting jobs, it's always, keeping you getting noticed, getting jobs, getting the clients, getting the work, then there's absolutely nothing to do, hopefully. Um, but if you aren't getting those jobs, you aren't getting that work, there's things to do there that you can do is build up that portfolio. Add pieces in it, take away pieces in it. It's not just all about adding pieces in that portfolio. Sometimes it's about taking them away, taking the not so shabby ones, or the ones that don't really tell what you have to offer your clients, or as a creative on YouTube, having those videos there that don't really offer anything to this channel. I've got really old videos out there, but they're really, really down below. You'd have to really dig into this channel to find them, and I'm fine with them being there as part of kind of the history of kind of my YouTube thing. Um, you know, I'd say I'd flash them down, but they're there. I could end up deleting them at some point, being like, I don't want them there anymore. They're not doing anything for this channel. Um, but they're there. They're the history of kind of where I started, and some channels do that. And some art pages, Instagrams, they have all that history there of these really, really old pieces that you don't really want anyone seeing, but they're there, and it's part of your history, and that people can go back and be like, oh, you created this, and now you create this. You can see you kind of your growth and what you've achieved. You know. So always, checking up on your portfolio, your treating your Instagram as a portfolio, another place to find who you are and what you create, um, and all that stuff. Anyway, I've got to keep on moving here. Some of these things I might have mentioned in some of my other videos, so please feel free to subscribe to this channel to find out all that information that I do have here that you can find out in other videos. Awesome. And it's okay, to ask for help, to get some advice. We are, developing each other, developing as artists. Hopefully, you might be growing, not so on your own. You might have someone out there that you can go to, that you can get some advice for, and feel free to seek out advice. Um, you know, it's there. There are artists there. You can get like portfolio reviews. Oops. Um, yeah, you can get like portfolio reviews. You can just ask local artists or artists. You can go abroad and ask artists around the net, um, about career advice, portfolio, your brand, your YouTube, your Instagram, whatever you create. You can go out and ask people. Just don't get discouraged if they either one don't reply, um, to maybe make a comment you don't like per se, because it might be, yeah, this is your creation, um, this is your baby you're creating, whether it's a really awesome art piece that you created, or really awesome video, or something that you really enjoyed creating, but someone out there might, um, you know, have some opinions that you might not necessarily agree with, so kind of take it with a grain of salt, basically, um, take it, take what they've got to say, process it, modify it, and move on. I've heard, one artist said, I think it was Ian McCraig, but I don't want to quote him. But as far as I know, I don't want to get wrong if I quoted him, basically. But I'm pretty sure. Um, he was saying that, um, sometimes, you know, directors, or things would come to him, directors, head of office, or whoever it was, would come to him, and say something about his creation, like, you know his hat is off, change it to a Sabrina, or Sabrina, one of those Mexican hats, and that is not always the solution. It's, yeah, you process it, bring it about. Um, um, Something is obviously off with the piece, but it's not exactly always going to be. It's that Sabrina needs to be. It's not always going to be, or that hand needs to be blue. It's not always going to be that answer. You have to explore it, but maybe also try, kind of your approach to it. There's something off here. What it may not be exactly what they point out, but it's, it might be, you never know, but you know um you just gotta take it, and there's something off there. So that's an option. Take that option and see what you can do with it. That's what I'm kind of saying here. So yeah, with the, you know and my last kind of tip here. So, you know you are a brand. If you're an artist, you're a creator. In a way, you are a brand. You are the one creating something for people. Um, you have a style, or a look, or you just create things in your own way, or you paint something. Um, so you have, a brand, a something to, um, kind of have a motto behind as well. You are, yeah, you are basically a brand. Most of us artists, do go for that whole get the logo, go and get kind of a style, or what you do down. It might be character design, might be 3D. You know, so most of us creators have a brand per se to look after, and it's to look after is to develop. This channel I've been developing slowly. I've put in, you know, a lot of effort and time now into developing, compared to what I was maybe 2 or 3 years ago. So 2, 3 years ago, it was just a bit of fun, bit of thing on the side that, um, could go somewhere, but I wasn't too sure about. But I kept on doing it, kept on going, and it kept on guiding me. And in the end, now, it's given me things. Now I'm putting a little bit more back in. It's giving me some rewards, so I'm putting that reward back in, kind of a thing. I'm looking after it. I'm trying to build it a little bit better by, I've just updated my intro trailer, because that's was getting old. I think it was, for its time, but now I feel like it's, this channel needs a new leaf. It needs something more to, really get ahead. Because, it's been slowly growing. but in the last 3 or 4 months, I've really noticed the growth, and that's come from, some trialing videos where I would trial some videos and do different things. Um, some, thumbnail creation, changing the thumbnails. I think in the last 2 years, I've kind of named my YouTube videos. Then I made the thumbnails look nice with the text, and then really pushing those images and that thumbnail out so that it looks more appealing than what I used to have. I mean, I used to just post a video and it would be just called like interview with such and such, um, or Squirrel Warrior, back in the day, Squirrel Warrior Part 1, Part 2, and Squirrel Warrior Part 3, it was just me time lapsing talking. It didn't really have any appealing titles or anything interesting. I might have had something interesting to say in the video, but not as much effort as I put into these days. These days I kind of have a singular topic that I talk about, as well as sometimes I have artists. I did have that in the past, but I have singular topic, um, and put effort into that. I write down words. I actually write down a little bit of a script. What I'm going to talk about. A little bit of like, I've got some categories I just went by, and I might even go ahead and with the video have the little sub headers there for each section and each little bit I talked about there. So a little bit effort's going in, and that's the thing about developing it. The more you put in, the more you get out. Hopefully, the more you get out, and vice versa. But yeah, I really appreciate you coming in. I hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Again, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Keep drawing, keep creating, and see you in the next video.